hung high over the central jail, casting long skeletal shadows that looked like cold blue bars across the concrete floor. Priya Oberoi stood motionless, her back pressed against the damp, weeping stone wall. Her ego was a brittle shield, refusing to let her sit, let alone sleep, on the filth-encrusted floor where Rohan lay huddled, his snores the only sound in the suffocating silence. Her lime green sari, once a symbol of her vibrant power, now hung limp and tattered, looking like a wilted leaf trapped in a tomb. The silence was broken by the sound of something shifting in the corridor. A black shadow began to stretch across the floor, slowly crawling toward her bars. Priya froze, her breath hitching in her throat. She looked up, and the air left her lungs in a gasp of absolute shock. Standing just beyond the rusted iron was Shravani. But she wasn't Anu, the sharp-tongued boutique owner. She stood there with long, flowing hair that cascaded over her shoulders, wearing a simple, traditional kurti and a faded scarf. She looked exactly like the girl Priya had tried to erase from existence, the girl from the village. Priya reached out, her fingers trembling as they brushed the cold, pitted iron of the bars. "I know what you are thinking, Priya madam," Shravani whispered, her voice a haunting, hollow echo that seemed to come from the walls themselves. "How am I alive? But I am not. I am dead, and my ghost is following the woman who killed an innocent baby and tried to break my life." Deep in the shadows of the corridor, tucked behind a massive stone pillar, Maya watched. Her face was partially obscured by darkness, but a sharp, satisfied smile cut across her features. She watched the devil crumble, knowing Priya was too consumed by her own terror to notice the living architect of this nightmare. Priya flinched violently, pulling her hand back as if the iron had suddenly turned white-hot. As she recoiled, a diamond bracelet, the expensive piece Shravani had worn as Anu, slipped from Shravani's wrist. It fell through the bars, hitting the cell floor with a sharp mocking clink. The stones glittered with a malicious light amidst the grime and dust. Priya collapsed, her knees hitting the hard concrete with a dull thud. She stared at her own hands, frantically rubbing them as if she could still feel the cold spiritual touch of the ghost. When she finally looked back up at the corridor, it was empty. Shravani and the silent shadow of Maya had vanished into the dark. Only the diamond bracelet remained, a physical weight in the center of the cell, proof that the nightmare was real. Priya opened her mouth to scream, but no sound came out. Her devastation had finally crossed the border into pure, unadulterated madness. The luggage of the past hadn't just been delivered, it had finally crushed her.